Kemi Badenoch proved today why once again she's just unfit to be Tory leader. In a new row that's blown up involving America this time, an Italian woman was charged with breaching a protection order around an abortion clinic, holding up a sign saying "Here to speak if you want to." Now, America have been claiming this is a breach of the woman's freedom of speech. And what really frustrates me about these freedom of speech champions is that freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from consequence. A Public Spaces Protection Order, or PCPO, are placed around abortion clinics to protect women going into them getting harassed. And this woman knowingly broke the law. She was asked to move on, she didn't, and so she was charged. Contrary to what most Americans seem to think, not all women that go into abortion clinics are not just because they got a little bit too frisky and couldn't be bothered to pop down the chemist. And so going to these places are traumatic enough, and they don't need this extra layer of random nut jobs thinking that they're just to try and kill an unborn life. So when asked by Trevor Phillips if when back in power that Kemi Badenoch would repeal this law, she wouldn't give an answer. And this is where her failure of leadership comes from, because she goes on some mad waffle about how she voted against it. But that wasn't the question that he asked. As a leader, you need to show leadership. And whether she was to support it or object against it, she would still need to have a response. And it's clear from this interview, you can see that she knows what the right answer is. She knows that these protection order spaces are a good thing and they do what they're supposed to do. Yet she can't admit that because her party and her base is all about this freedom of speech nonsense.
The court ruled that Livia Tossiti-Bolt broke the law with this one-woman demo outside an abortion clinic, not because of what she said, but because of where she said it. And it's clear that actually that's what the law dictates.
Yeah.
Would you retain that law if you came into power?
So I think that this is one of those laws that came in while I was an MP and I voted against. And the reason why it was not a whip vote is because it had to do with abortion, which is a free vote. Once anything has to do with abortion in Parliament, it tends to be a free vote. But Parliament made that decision. That was the law. I think that on the balance of probabilities, it's probably too strict. But I also
So you would get rid of it, if you came into power?
Let me finish the point. I also think that we need to be careful about creating a situation where some citizens are able to deliberately harass others in sensitive situations. I think that people should be free to express their opinions. Freedom of speech is one of those values that was brought in to make sure that governments did not impose themselves on individuals. But when it comes to individual, there are now buffer zones.
I fully understand the trade-off here.
Yeah.
But you know that there is a law, it says what it says, and really what I'm trying to get, you're notoriously straight speaking, would you change that law or would you not?
But I've already told you how I voted on that law.
Okay.
These are things the Parliament...
Well, why didn't you just say, yes, I would change it?
Well, but because what I don't want to do is start bringing in the sort of debates that they have in the US, where everybody's arguing about abortion rather than talking about the things that are impacting everyone's lives right now, like the economy. People are losing their jobs. People are getting paid less. Businesses are closing. This is what's happening because of decisions that the government is making. We need to make sure that people can, of course, have freedom of speech. The law is there to protect it. I think the law, on balance, is in an all-right area. It's probably, in some places, a bit too strict. That's what's happened in this situation.
With a response like that, she is just coming across as a weak leader. And I'm actually quite surprised she's popped her head out, because the last time she did an interview round, she crashed suburbly hard, which you can see in the video that's on screen now. So watch that next. Don't forget to hit the like button, and I'll see you next time.